News18 India.
I had interviewed the Prime Minister in 2016, as early as that, and he spoke about the white paper. He said that we should come out with the white paper because we inherited an economy which was in the fragile five. And that was early, just 2 years into the government. And what we had to really do to drag it out of, the levels it had reached. You spoke similarly yesterday about a white paper, and you said it was a Herculean task to bring the economy back from the brink. What is the idea behind the white paper? Why now? And will it be another stick to beat the opposition with?
See, you're right in pointing out that the Honorable Prime Minister has spoken about it even in 2016 in your interview. Then it was so many different sections of our society themselves suggested to us that you better bring a paper out, white paper out, to say why Indian economy has reached the fragile five, to say why our banks had become such a black hole. Nothing could be restored of the banks. Banks were all in deep trouble. Look at the number of NPAs and the value of the NPAs, meaning what was the original value and to what extent they had reached almost close to valueless positions. So whether it was your banks, whether it was the overall economy, whether it was defense procurement, whether it was a vital sector of telecom, why? Even minerals. Yes. Every area was ridden with problems. Now, if you're talking of corruption, well, it's one thing, it goes to the court, people get punished, and then the monies are given back or not given back, values are retrieved or not retrieved. That's one side of the story. But what impact it left on the economy? To restore your banks back to health, to make sure your country is safe with adequate strategic equipments given to defense personnel, to make sure that your mines, which are wealth under the earth, meaning inside the earth, under the soil, to use them for the benefit of the country rather than to use them as one instrument through which you line your own pocket. What implications it had on the economy? Banks not being healthy, mines being given to brothers and sisters who did not want to extract the mineral for the benefit of the country. Spectrum allocations, if it had happened in time, I didn't have to spend so much to restore BSNL to have 2G or 4G in time. And what implication does it have on the country when 4G is not available in time, whereas the whole world is talking about 5G?
Yes.
So the kind of impact that it had, the mismanagement, it is not just talking about, policy paralysis for a fragile five. It's talking about every one of these steps, which one in morally, which number one, morally was immoral, in the sense was not right, and equally the kind of positive effect, if it had happened very well in a transparent fashion, it would have had on the economy. We lost 10 glorious years, and to restore it to that position back and then to pull it up to now get closer to the world's third largest economy is a Herculean task, which I'm grateful this country had a Prime Minister like Modi ji, who single-mindedly said, I will restore this economy back. It's my service to the nation.
Yes.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. So why the white paper now?
Yes.
We've had 10 years. And prior to that, there was a 10 years where you saw all this happening. Policy paralysis, corruption, nation losing its endowments, and so on. 10 years under Prime Minister Modi. What kind of course corrections had to happen? Yes. What kind of restoring confidence had to happen? What kind of pulling back from rut that had to happen? And equally making sure you're purchasing the equipments, you're removing BSNL from distress, you're making sure BSNL employees are given their due, you're making sure the country gets 5G, not just 4G. Look at the coverage India has in 5G today.
I agree.
All this, and to make sure that the investor confidence is not just intact, but is growing, that within a matter of 8 years, I would say, we've reached 596 billion US dollars as our foreign exchange reserve. Just compare that with the last 10 years. At least for the sake of the elected honorable representatives who are sitting in the parliament, they should know what was it then, what effort it took to restore it here, and what we should not therefore ever imagine or dream of doing in personal interest, forgetting the nation. Why now? Parliament should know. 2, at that time, had Prime Minister Modi not taken the call that in the interest of our nation, I would not bring it out. He didn't bring the paper then, white paper then, because you put the nation first. You say, if I do it now, I can be happy, but the confidence in our country would have been lost. Investors wouldn't have come. Our own people would have lost faith in the systems. They would say, oh my God, this government will come, eat away and go. That next government can come. It'll do its own, but we're all languishing. The faith in institutions, in government, in leaders, in politics would have been lost in the minds of people. And I'm so grateful that the Prime Minister didn't do it then. He restored it all, put India on such a wonderful track towards becoming third largest economy, and then so that all of us know what it took and what we shouldn't do in the future, this paper.
So when do you table it?
Well, sooner, I suppose.
A passionate reply from you, I must say. Nirmala ji, when it comes to the markets, Nirmala Sitharaman can do no wrong. Last 2-3 years, markets have been on a roll. My question is, can you assure the markets and its participants that there will be stability in the capital gains tax regime? And I ask this question because last year you had tweaked, the debt market, the debt mutual funds in your budget speech. So, is there stability around the corner in the foreseeable future?
Policy stability is one thing which Prime Minister really lays a lot of emphasis on.
Yes.
He doesn't like periodic tweaking. He would tell you it's only 2 years, it's only 3 years, let it play out, let it settle down and so on. So he's never in favor of quick twists and turns. Right. And this is not me saying, people who have observed him for his tenure as Chief Minister will know that the biggest strength under Prime Minister Modi is stability in policy. So that's a singular line reply that I can give for it.
Right. No surprises. I mean, long-term stability in policy. Another question, current question. RBI has imposed restrictions on the operations of Paytm Payments Bank. I don't, want to go into the details, but just a question is, what is your message to the fintech industry? Is there more than meets the eye in this case, or are we going to be cautious when it comes to the fintech sector?
No, I wouldn't want to comment on any one particular company, okay. But fintech is an area in which all of us are very enthusiastic. India has contributed a lot in this sector. India's contribution in this sector has been globally recognized. Today, if people are looking at solutions, fintech solutions, they are looking to India. Our youth have contributed a lot and built capacities for themselves. This is an area which we'll certainly like to work with and encourage. I'm not commenting on any one company.
That's heartening to know for the fintech industry. Thanks for the message. You have been tightening things around. Would you think that the RBI should loosen now?
Well, RBI does take its own call, but I will appreciate the RBI for working together with the stakeholders. And they take a call, I'm sure they take a call that keeping growth in mind. They've been steady, I suppose. They'll continue to be steady is my expectation and hope.